Have a little faith in me. You have a little faith in me. Okay, people. Today I don't do any licks or any guitar. I don't hold guitar. But today I want to talk politics, and I want to be taken seriously. I want to be taken seriously. Yesterday,
Misschien gaat het allemaal wel goed. Misschien is het allemaal wel prima.
mistit gaat er allemaal goed. There is um there is uh there is one thing that I want to make clear for people to understand. Look, I always have trouble in understanding what is really media for. What does really, what media serves? It's still not clear. I don't think it's clear for a lot of people, especially people in Africa and even the political elite and the so-called intellectuals. Or they don't understand it, or they really capitalizing what they understand. One of the two, but they not for people that they say they care, but just for their own political agenda. The elite, only the elite. I mean, that's what I can understand. You know, Usually, if you listen to Al Jazeera, if you listen to Al Jazeera, BBC, France 24, um, all these big news outlets, international outlets who have the financial muscle to go every corner and who also have some kind of global political agenda, you know. Um, I don't think local politicians in Ethiopia understand what these people are saying and doing actually. For example, um, you don't know when some political elite or some kind of advocate of that political elite come out and say things when they explain about what is happening in a country is usually what has happened already. They are talking, which means they are buying time. People don't understand that. I don't think they understand, because today when they talk like that Tigray people are becoming victims of this conflict in Ethiopia, those people who come out and say Tigray people are victims are not really saying Tigray people are victims. It is a political move to just, if they get a chance, to revive TPLF. But people expect that TPLF older members come to the scene, because some of them are dead, some of them are in prison. No, so it is logical. That's not what they wanted. It is that they are following in the footsteps. And usually in Ethiopia, the problem is never been about people. As we all know, it's about some kind of political elite that planted division, ethnocentric division, secession, and all those kind of political terms they use. And we know who wrote the blue book. We know who wrote the constitution of Ethiopia. And then, to make that constitution work, they were in power for 30 years, creating ideologically subverted generations that they hate the country they live in, which is weird in any other country. But in Western medias, these so-called intellectuals, so-called advocate of this kind of, I don't call them intellectuals. I mean, they may be a graduate of any kind of, Western institution, but to me, intellectuals are like, um, if they truly believe the existence of a certain nation will help the entire population of that country, regardless of age, ethnic background, or gender, or sexual orientation, what have you, universal moral values or whatever, then it's not Ethiopian so-called politicians and Ethiopian you know, kind of activists from Ethiopian descent that I admire, because these people are really working hard, destroying the place. You know, it don't matter which side they are, and they say, "Yeah, I believe in this. This is the right way." No, the thing is this. For example, there are people, every internal problems they ignore when is a time when there is a need for a country to be intact and to further its priorities, you know, to set goal. You know, our priorities is advancement. Our priorities is not our ethnic background or our language. It's not, that's not really a priority, you know. That is some things that we you know, we should nurture as community. It's not it shouldn't be a political issue. And you ignore, you say we're intellectuals, but you ignore the bigger picture, you ignore what's important for people. And when you shamelessly talk about ethnic federalism, which political blah blah is a priority, and when people from European or other countries go to where you come from and you saw the societies, for example, if you are a ethno Oromo person and you go to Oromia region and you see how Oromo people, all the people who live in there, it's not only Oromo people who are in Oromia, it's just a political design. Then um, it's so disgusting to look at you people in how you present yourself, you know, talking of these you know, ethnic federalism, which should be performed by highly skilled kind of people in countries like Japan, even countries like that, you know, very modern people. You cannot apply ethnic federalism on them, leave alone in a banana republic. And still, without a shame, you make it like argument, you know. You are shameless people, you know. I don't understand. uh, and Western media always serve those kind of people, because in Western media is this. Western media, they know the agenda of today is to correct Abiy Ahmed for who he is, not some people who already in power. For example, imagine the people who took, if there is any kind of, you know, any kind of mistreatment of people, you know, that amounts even to call some kind of regime a war crime or anything. You should listen to, you know, neutral kind of people in societies. You have to ask those people, if you have to, if you are a Western media, and if you want to know really what is really going, without prejudice, what is really going in Tigray, what has happened, by who, where, these things must be, for example, uh, a mouthpiece or a senior person from Amnesty International will show up and will explain, this is what happened. You see, that's what you ask, not a member of a government of today, not a TPLF member, an active TPLF member, with the digital Wayani members, wherever they may be. But you know, the Western media is like, they don't really concern about real people. Only they concern about people who say we represent these people when they don't represent. How could you ask? How you got the audacity to ask a TPLF ex member or people who benefited from that regime by creating division among people, and take time to ideologically subvert the entire country to say my ethnicity and to ignore its country. It is already balkanized. So you don't ask this kind of political groups or their advocates in the foreign lands because they are in some kind of university and they have PhD before their names. You don't ask them about what they already create, because most of the intellectuals that you're interviewing, they are between 30 and 35 years old kind of people. These people are ideologically subverted from early age. They are brought up to advocate for this. You usually ask interview people who are the creators of the problem in the first place. Because when these people say, when Ethiopians are trying to dismantle this divisive politics, you interview people who wrote these things, literally, without the consent of the people. So you say, hey, people, Ethiopian people have to decide if they have to govern by this ethnic federalism in this constitution or not. Will be a Western media question, but it should be a question when it was in 1983 when these people come in, not today. You see, they always take you 30 years, the issue of 30 years, they always interview now to blind you because they have to disguise what Abiy Ahmed is doing, right now. So what they do is like covertly they interview people, ethnocentric people, you know, who have the agenda of disguising what is going on now as if they're talking, as if they are opposing Abiy Ahmed. But what is between them is a power struggle. It's not the opposing, or it's not, he's not capable of delivering this. Let's make a big Oromoma in case if Ethiopia disintegrate while we are, munching by the name of Ethiopia, then we have a second house. That's why what Western people don't understand is the fact that all these people were supporting ethnic federalism is they will make a political, a political um, competition, if you will. There is a competition between ethnic groups. Some of them they want to capitalize the fact that under them there is an ethno group that is many in numbers. Some of them by uh, armed struggle, like TPLF, who come in power and who rule the country 30s by this divisive politics. So they have a card to play with, but that card is usually, that card um, is like, okay, Ethiopia they want, because Ethiopia already built a structure, they already formed Ethiopia. you know Within that Ethiopia there is a bargaining. Ethiopia is a bargaining chip. To lead Ethiopia is something that they take for granted, but they say this political leading the Ethiopia in this kind of political thing, especially ethno federalism, is like, in case if Ethiopia disintegrate, we have to eat now as much we can so that we build our area. This is what the TPLF was doing in Tigray, and this is what Oromoma now, even Abiy Ahmed, is doing. But the so-called ethnocentric Oromo political elite who talk on Western media as if they oppose him is a political struggle. But they deeply they know that he's doing the same thing what they want, because Oromo elites never disagree in the fact that Oromo and Oromia should be represented, but nobody else. And this has been said, and even the Oromia, the Oromo regional state leader Shimelis Abdissa come out and say exactly what he wanted. He want to uh, eradicate any kind of people, who live in Oromia, that are obstacles to form the this monolithic Oromia speaking Oromo people. If minorities are found there, they have to be assimilated, and the working is already there, and the world don't want to talk about that. That they use media, they give minorities to have not to have their own kind of media and thing, but no, to be assimilated with Oromuma, so that after they secure the state of Oromuma, to crush them again, to make them Oromos. Like in the past, there was assimilation all over the place. There are a lot of names and languages that disappear. That is in the making, and they are not shy. Shimalis Abdisa said it. Why not they talk on media and Western media these stories? Because this thing will be spoken after 40 years, after they have done it. This is how Europeans help ethnocentric people disintegrate these kind of countries and places to put them in constant war. Otherwise, why Western media always have three windows? To the maximum is three windows. And I'll come to that. Now the interview in France 24, they interview three people. Naam Zallaka. Naam Zallaka is a mouthpiece of Abiy Ahmed. Only he have another political party that advocates for the unity of Ethiopia kind of thing. Another guy, another dude, which I don't want to his name, but another dude. The dude is extreme ethnocentric Oromo by the time when Jawar Muhammad and Bakala Garba, who are just genocidal kind of people who come out and declare war on some kind of people, opening media like Rwanda, who have a power struggle with Abiy Ahmed. Not ideological difference, but a power struggle. Western media is serving this issue rather than talking about Ethiopia as a country, because in Ethiopia it's not only Oromo or Amara or Tigray who live. There are Somalis. It is the second biggest area, Somalia. And Somalis are more, in language, they are more adjacent to the neighboring country Somali than for Ethiopia. But in demography, they are in Ethiopia. You have the Afar, who are in Eritrea and who are in Ethiopia. They use even this fact to disintegrate the country. But the way I use it is not to disintegrate it, but I'm I'm stressing that there are people other than Oromo, Amara, and Tigray people. Oromia want to swallow Somali and Afar by calling them Kushitik. You are one of us. But they put them at war right now. They put Somalis and Afar at war so that Oromoma will prosper. They have a very sinister, fucked up way of doing filthy shit. And this has to stop. A religion have to come out from the calculation of Ethiopia. It's a wrong calculation. Anything that used the conflict of people to further any fucking agenda, even when some people think convince it, you have to place some kind of politics within a country. No, if you are a powerful country, you go somewhere else and you disturb other countries who are against your interest. You don't disturb your own. Even holding a government, being a governing body, you don't do that. It is crazy. You don't do that. It's not a political smartness to advantage some kind of communities for a while, thinking that that's the only way. No, but these are the people they ask. So this guy is defending Jawar Muhammad and Bakala Garba, just genocidal idiot people who think they are smart politicians. But they have a power struggle with Abiy, and they are in prison because of that. And actually, these people are criminals. It's not Abiy actually saved them before Ethiopians go to the international community to take these people. What they have done so far in these 3 years, ever since they come to the country with invitation of Abiy Ahmed, because of the pressure from international community that they have to take part in the political arena. The political arena should be open for everybody. But in Ethiopian case, is for everybody, including people who claim that we're born in that country, but who want secession, who want to destroy the country, who want to put the country in civil war. And Oromo media network broadcasting is enough for that. It's enough for that. Now, where are the Arab people in Tigray? Where are they now? Huh? What is the Tigrayans' motive behind going to talk uh, about minority groups like Command Society minority groups and Shinasha within the so-called Amhara regional state? Do they talk further than the ethnic federalism they call in these 9 federal states? Do they know, the Europeans know, what the sinister working of ethnocentric politicians, even within the regional states, there are people and groups and languages. Do you know what kind of dirty game they play using them as cards for conflict? Do the Western people know that? No, neither these people want to talk about that, because this must be a hidden card to play with. So whenever Oromuma want to play dirty game to disintegrate Amhara, because Amhara is considered the one that make Ethiopia intact, they play the card within a country, the Kamante, the Ago, the blah blah card. But when they come out, they talk only about regional states in Amhara and this and that. You know, why not they talk about this? Because they have to disguise the Ethiopian politics with such kind of people. Now you have, imagine, this can be a fair square. You know, this can be fair. You know, like yeah, Naman Zallaka represent Ethiopianism. The other woman is from Digital Wayani. This is a TPLF senior member, but incubated. Of course, you don't expect Abai Tsahayi because he's dead. You see, that's what people say. Yeah, TPLF is dead. What do you mean TPLF is dead? Do we know how the youth is thinking in Tigray? Or whether, like Tedros guy, you call it, yeah, I don't support TPLF, but I support a Tigrayan Army Liberation Front. You change your name, like Abiy Ahmed changed EPRDF to Bilsagina. It don't mean shit. It's your notion. It's what you want. You know, when you struggle because you feel like a victim, that ethnic federalism will be intact. But at the same time, you say, no, ethnic federalism is an enemy of Ethiopia. But practically, what you people are doing is always renewing with new members, with new power, and with new force to divide the country. And in Western media, the people who are your enemies, including Western media, they use you and you use them for your demise. That's what you do. That's what most ethnocentric people do. So you have now three people. I answered them like this. Look, I answered them like this. This is what it is because I just wrote it on YouTube, and sometimes they even they even shadow ban. Not only they shadow ban, you know what you say, but they also shadow ban even the comments you give on YouTube. People don't know that there is algorithm that does that. You see, what I wrote is like this: European and international media is always serving three windows. Three windows is when they give you good, when they are fair, because usually it's some ethnocentric guy like Awolano or like Solomon guy who is really his entire life feeding the money of Ethiopia, sitting in America, you know, converting their fucking ass by the demise of other people, you know, their own people in the country. Such kind of people are um, interviewed in Western media. You know, this is funny because Western medias were serving that this kind of people were marginalized and these minority groups were leading the country and, you know, oppressing the majority groups, mainly the Amhara and the Oromo. That was the narration 3 years ago on Al Jazeera. And now, when these people are ousted from power, they come up with another card of you know, the victims of this fucking conflict, Eritreans, Tigrayan people, you know, not the pain of Tigrayan people, not because of their concern, but they have to take them for a political end. Imagine your own, the people you call I care for them. Their pain is merely for you, is merely uh, a way for your political end or to be empowered, or you know, how do you have that heart? I don't understand these people. I mean, this is insane. But to me, this is, you have three people now. This guy, he was laughing his ass off in his own media. They were high when they come in the country, thinking that they're gonna fucking balkanize the country. They're gonna do what they will, what they want. They take apartments from people who work hard, you know, to buy apartments, and they give it to their own people. This is just a crime, a literally crime in front of Abiy Ahmed eyes. These are the people now who come out and act like they're intellectual people. The other one, the female, she's a TPLF mouthpiece. The other guy, Naam Zallaka, he's Abiy Ahmed mouthpiece, literally. But he think like he believed that Abiy Ahmed is a unifier. You know, imagine this is what Western media serve, not Ethiopian people, not something that they understand. Yeah, sometimes they tell him they cross check them, but you see, European and international medias always serve three windows. One, the number one is the dude, ethnocentric Oromos who have the audacity to balkanize Ethiopia, committing genocide on Amharas and other minority ethnic groups. If that don't work as much as they want because of the pressure from the international community, plan B will follow. That is assimilation those people within Oromuma. And that is admitted by Shimelis Abdissa, the Oromia regional state leader, an imbecile who say we are working hard to take out the only written African language, Amharic, and kill and evict Amharas from Oromia and other minority groups. This is the number one group that the Western media is serving. And this, they know with satellite, they see the conflicts. They see who have the upper hand. But they only cling on the narration of Amara militia, Eritrean military. That's how they cling on. And this infuriates me. Not that I want any fucking militia to commit, crime on innocent civilians. But this should be a Western media responsibility to ask those institutions who are supposed to do just that in the first place, not somebody to depend on some kind of report and to further their political agenda. This is not what a media should serve. If this is media, then what the media does is actually putting gasoline on fire. You cannot ask as a TPLF senior member, which they already governed the country, loot the country, and created all this chaos for 30 years, as if they are new kind of emerging political elite or fresh blood. You cannot do that. They play their card, including the person they demonize, Abiy Ahmed. They cheer him up the moment they come up in Tigray. They cheer him up. Standing ovation, round applause till their fucking hand burn, because they think we raise him in our political ideology. He himself say, I defend this constitution. He himself say. So they expected the superiority of the TPLF and whatever advantage they say we give to Tigrayan people, which is not most people believe. Now, when everything they calculate for their superiority to be intact fails, and Isaias Afwerki, which was their blood brother, who was fighting with TPLF to make Eritrea independent, come to Kapapla in the mass, they say Ethiopia people abandon us and they let us kill by this guy. This guy is more close to them in language, in anything you can imagine. There is nobody, not even Amhara, is close to Tigrayan people than Eritrean people. It's not true. It's not true. That's why I say, whether you like some kind of political rhetoric helps for the unity of your country is miscalculation. Like not to admit that there are people, like for example, there are Oromo people in Kenya, but Kenya is a sovereign state. So it is Kenya as a sovereign state that decide on the fate of those people. And also in Eritrea, because Eritrea is a sovereign state. But the fact that these people have that kind of ties should be spoken. These retarded people who really misrepresent or who misinterpret rather this thing, like if we raise this issue, then we are playing against our interest. No, that's not it. You have to be truthful to what is really going on, yet devise a political system that unifies the entire area. It's possible. You don't have to hide from the truth. There is Afar people in Eritrea, but that don't mean Eritrean sovereignty should be violated, because it's already a binding agreement by United Nations. These sovereign states are written. They have constitution, they have government, they have border. This is a sovereign state, have some kind of story. But we have to see beyond that for the sake of us, not to use this for division, but to use exactly this, that we are the same, you know, not because these people are Muslim, these people are Cushitic, saying terms and thinking a very short-sighted political game to play, thinking that it advantages you for a while, because a human being lives maximum 80, 90 years to be in power for 20, 30 years. That is the norm of the world. We have to change this. We have to change this. You have to give us chance at least to talk. But you think you are smart people. You know, it's not all right. It's not all right to say some kind of societies. Okay, are they Islam? Are they this kind of background? Their language in international, in Western education system is categorized as Cushitic, Semitic. You have to come out from this. This is set to divide you. You have to understand who you are, not understand what they tell you are. It is a very idiotic. You are working for your demise. Even in the time when you think you have the upper hand politically, you are winning. Nobody win there. There is no winner around there. If there was winner, Eritreans by now they are winners. But still, Ethiopian problem is intact with them. That's why they get in. That's why the TPLF fire missile. That's why they get integral. That's why this story shouldn't be a very, overblown kind of a foreign enemy. How you call Eritreans a foreign enemy? There will always be a foreign enemy if you call a small country in East Africa that is disintegrated from a country with any kind of claim from Eritrean side. It don't matter. History is unfolded in the way. In history, so many people understand it in different manner. But that's not where you should concentrate. Where you should concentrate is everything is tried, including no war, no peace situation for 20 years when the military was guarding you there because you belong to Ethiopia. This is the international community. United Nations was waited till 100 plus thousand people are dead, and then they come. And then they tell you from this, you don't move there, you don't move there, you are. Is that in this interview, is this woman craving for that again, hoping that Ethiopia will have the same kind of rhetoric and the same kind of political moves that someday Tigray will be guarded Ethiopian military against Eritrea and the same thing again? It's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. And maybe even Eritrean political aspect of it, whether Isaias Afwerki is in power or not, or whether his son, or whether any kind of political things going on in Eritrea, that's not going to happen. It could be to the point that Eritrea will defend its own whatever interest they say or whatever problem they have, the demarcation of the border and the problem of this area, disputed area, whatever. But it's not gonna be like what it has been before. It's not going to be, even after Abiy Ahmed is not there. Even Ethiopia, if Ethiopia go to the extent of balkanization, that's not because the nature of the conflict and the nature of alliance will be different, will be unexpected. It will be unexpected kind of situations will appear. And as a political, if you think you are a political analyst, you should see it now before it happens. Not after it happened. Like you see, when Abiy Ahmed, you cheer him up. Now, how many of you are opponent of this guy? When we tell you, no, it's not necessary. Shut up and look what this person is. Because we already know where he come from. Why not this dissection of the situation is not? Why situations like this are not dissected this way in a motherfucking media, in Western media? It's not. They usually ask these old rotten people who understood politics not in its positive contribution to society, because politics is a game that you play to contribute to your society, not for its demise. I don't think Canadian politicians are there against the will and against the interest of Canadian people as a whole. There may be like White House or big countries have lobbies of foreign people, multinationals. This kind of global story may happen, but in general, it's not. American politicians don't work against the interest of people. They may take side on some kind of political narratives that they may dominate some kind of society or whatever. But in Ethiopia, all of them work for their demise, even when they think they are furthering the agenda of what they think is right for the country, like these ethnocentric idiots. But they all have PhD, and I don't understand this stupid idiot. You see? So that's why I wrote this, because they usually shadow ban and control all the media that I have. My YouTube, my Facebook, the comments I got. There is some guy who sit in there and who give me thumbs up, one thumbs up, because I know it is controlled. Nothing come out from any machinery that I got. And it's hard even to understand for people who know about computers, because they have a certain knowledge that don't go further than the people who control the biggest algorithm machines and shit. It's obvious to me. That's why I make on this YouTube video. You see? So this is one. One is the ethnocentric Oromos who have the audacity, not Oromo people, the so-called we are here for Oromo people kind of people, because no people have ever shown us when they say we are there, we're separatist groups, blah blah, advantaging those people, except making the problem more than making people's life miserable. Like in Tigray, even they themselves say we didn't advantage Tigrayan people. One, and then now things get worse. We already make enemies, other enemies, that Tigrayan people become victims. Not literally, that's what they're saying, because they are saying there is genocide in Tigray. All political rhetoric and you all 30 years resulted in the killing of. Only you don't know which kind of word you use. It's like in English you use passive and active voice kind of sentence making, right? You put the subject before the object before kind of thing. They come out and they say, but what they don't understand, what they are saying is actually, look, it don't matter who make who a victim, but it is your political move and the friction that's created is the debris of who you are. But you don't understand it. And I used to hear these TPLF senior members say, even some of them, okay, we may be wrong. So now we go to Tigray. We don't care about what is going on, which is not the truth. They know they fuck up big time. And now they have planted a generation spending millions and billions of dollars to educate these children, ideologically subverted idiots who live in Washington, D.C. and Baltimore, coming out in this fucking Western media. They don't even listen what they say. When you say there is genocide in Tigray, it's you who did it. Because you are telling us it is Abiy Ahmed who did it. And Abiy Ahmed is a recruit who working on your machine, on your APRDF machine, as what? As in America, CIA equivalent, or in Israel, Mossad, or in Britain, MI6, you know, and MI5 too, because he do his dirty job internally. In the country, they were strangling people. But at the same time, covertly helping the opposition too, the OLF. This is the guy you demonize. And we have windows to tell the sinister way that lurks beneath. We tell the details of who you set up bitches are. Because nobody give us media attention. Medias are lobbyists. We know that. So we have to come out and talk. Whether people listen to us and really follow what we say, it's okay. If not, fuck it. I'll say it anyway. So that is the problem. When you say there is genocide in Tigray, what you are saying is actually, I fuck up. Because you were empowering 30 years. But the moment Abiy Ahmed come out, speak in Tigrinya, go to Tigray, the first place he go to is Tigray. When you are telling me now he was preparing to attack Tigray, it is knowing that when he come to Tigray that you were clapping your hand. When was that then? When was he was preparing to attack you? when you're clapping your hand, when he said Tigray is special, like his predecessor Meles Zenawi. No, everybody, what is wrong in Ethiopia is everybody want to run all over everybody that they think is not their society or it's not their ethnic group. When they even see that this kind of measure within a country that is undeveloped is not going to work. And the fact that people say unity is not to impose some kind of cultural language on you, which never happened, otherwise you wouldn't speak your fucking language. And it is up to a society, starting from a village, a family. It is your, not a political agenda or a reform or some kind of constitution that safeguard that kind of cultural thing. It is you who do it. Oromo people cannot go to Amhara people and tell them, hey, let's do about Amharic language. This language have to grow. You know, a media has to put this kind of dances, this kind of, no. It is you who should do that. But when you do it, you have to do it in a manner where people, especially if you are if you are ambitious, you have to have the will to convince these people in a lovely manner, in a manner where you don't corner them. You know, let alone you have secret videos coming out from your regional state leader that you intentionally want to destroy the only written language in the entire Africa. The only language that is written with a black skin, except Indian language or whatever language with that kind of skin, is Asia, and there are different people than us, is in Ethiopia. You want to destroy language and put your stupid language, sorry to say stupid language, because you cannot write it except in Latin. You cannot say that. That written language has a value. It's an earthhood. It is something that should be protected. Actually, this stupid United Nations branch that says this is a cultural site, human heritage site. This language is a human heritage site because it is engraved. It is a written language. Tigrinya language, Amharic language should be protected, not because some people claim that it is us, it belongs to us. No, language don't belong to anybody. I'm also convinced. But there are people who keep it. There are people who speak and who say, no, we will be represented by this language. For example, Amhara people, the only language they know is Amharic. What other language they speak? So they say we represent like Oromo say. So if you want Oromo language to be respected and to be spoken by other people, you don't impose power and conflict on it. You don't use conflict and power as a means of applying that. It's not going to work. Or it will have clashback someday. Someday your term will be finished. You know, you have to see that. But the Oromia regional state leader, which is which is selected, handpicked by Abiy Ahmed, when you in international media, you stupid people are protecting Abiy Ahmed as if he is the unifier. Otherwise, these monsters will come out. It's a political game, I tell you a lot of times. They come out and say something else to confuse you. And that is the part of convince and confuse. Is internationally. You cannot convince and confuse in villages and have upper hand governing a country and sending people in international institutions like Tedros Adhanom and have the upper hand. You're not gonna do that. That's what he was talking about because they know it. Now where they're softening, why they are accepting this Tigrayan genocide story is not because they regret that happened. Conflict is conflict. This can happen, but this should be condemned, and the people who do wrong to innocent civilians must be judged. That's why we fucking shouting why you are burning Amharas in Atayi. Not because they are Amharas, because you cannot do that. If it's in Tigray, it don't matter where it happened. You cannot kill people. That's why we say. But you use that for a political end. I say that not for some fucking crazy ass Amara guy to be elite. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. As long as you advantage the entire population to let it grow and to go further than other these idiotic conversations about ethnicity, this language, you are busy in things that are not important, that are not priority. Still, you don't get it. Every fucking media you open is this thing that's not priority to people, because your priority is not that. Your priority is not that you forget your mama tongue. Your priority is making it political and clash with other societies, which is not which is not helping nobody. Idiocracy, being idiot, being imbecile, but have PhD and talk as if you are a defendant of some kind of ethno secession. You have to read your constitution. Who wrote that constitution? Lencholata, Isaias Aforke, Meles Zenawi, huh? And Dr. Nagaso Gidada. Who wrote that? Which Ethiopian people you select from every village in every area of the country and say, this is your constitution, this is your flag. Ethiopian people even know that this blue star in the flag is there. They know, they don't care, they know, because their priority, they are poor people in third world countries. When you going to stop lying to the world? You want to defend something that you impose. Start from the things that you impose before you say, no, they're going to take down what we impose on people. Of course, we're going to take down what you impose on people. It takes time, or the country will disintegrate and you're political. When that country disintegrates, you know what it means? It means TPLF and all its cronies and phony ethnic group leaders kind of people. It's your demise. That is the result of you. You can twist words, you can say stupid things. But when you are a ruler, when you collect this kind of groups, this is the result. Now, when you say there is genocide in Tigray, you are saying literally it is directed